noon away,
Sure.
and I can't sleep on a plane.
No, I can
Okay.
doze a little bit, but I can't sleep much.
I'd like to call the meeting to order.
There we go.
It's okay. At 6:05 on Monday, December 9th, 2024. So, okay, and we will start with introductions. Let's go on line for a change.
All right. From Shrewsbury, we have Laura Black. Timoth, we have Judy Gilmore. Ira, we have Bob Kerback. Hubbardton, Bob Gibbs. Pittsford, Alicia Millay. Brandon, Jack Schneider. And Sudbury, Barbara Thompson.
Larry?
Larry Purcell, Mendon.
Devin Neary, Executive Director.
Erica Berner Wallingford.
Leona Minded, West Rutland.
Michelle Bushy Danby.
Dre Stoddard Danby.
Dick Horner, Proctor.
Logan Solomon, staff.
Maggie O'Brien, staff. Mary Kay Scott, staff.
I think that's got it all. Thank you. So, approval of the agenda. Do I have any additions, subtractions, deletions, typos? If not, I will entertain a motion to accept the agenda as written. Anyone?
So moved.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Hey, all those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Or nod your head. Thank you, Judy.
But not both, that's voting twice.
Okay. And next on the agenda is approval of the November 19th minutes. As, do we have any subtractions, changes, additions, typographical errors? And if not, I will entertain a motion to accept them as submitted.
I make motion to accept the minutes of November 19th, 2024 as presented.
May I have a second?
Second.
Hey, all those in favor, nod your head, raise your hand, or say aye.
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 Thank you. Right. Open to the public. We have no members of the public, so I will close to the public. All right, next on the agenda is the treasurer's report for the fiscal year 24 audit report. Mary Kay.
Okay, so FY24 audit, it went well. We had no findings or recommendations to address. The Executive Finance Committee reviewed the audit and the proposed changes that we'll review at their meeting just a few minutes ago. I'll just run through the highlights and then we'll go over, there are still some additional potential changes again that we'll review. So the year ended, the overall year ended with a net loss of $90,534.43, which I will explain. So $81,264 is for the Rutland Creek Path project. We are the fiscal agents for the Creek Path, so they had a net loss of $81,264. They've just done a lot of work to the Creek Path, so it's all good. The RRPC net loss was $9,270.43. If you're including the interest and miscellaneous income on the revenue side. Now, in the financial statements that you'll see, without those revenues, it's a $14,700 net loss. Again, reflected on the financial statements. The reason that you see a net loss is because of the non-cash items that impact our net income. And I will go through those. So first of all, you hear me talk about it every year. It's the VEMR's retirement expense. It's a journal entry the auditor performs every year. Again, a non-cash item. That was the highest I think that I've ever seen it. It was $44,666 this year. Just to give you some history, FY23 was roughly $31,000. FY22 was the lowest I've ever seen it, $4,600. FY20, $38,000. FY21, $29,000. So again, it's usually in the $30,000 range. This year, FY24, we were in the $44,000 range. Another annual journal entry that the auditor performs is the current depreciation of $5,260 $5,266.52. There's a new journal entry that she performs. It's a new note that we'll go over in the audit. It's the least interest expense. That was only $600, $623. Another big one this year. So we had to write off the leasehold improvements for our old location of 67 Merchants Row. As the lease ended at the end of the fiscal year on June 30. That was $19,482.28. So if you're, you hear me every month saying, oh, we're projecting to end in the black, we're projecting to end in the black. If you're comparing the budget to actual, we did end in the black, even prior to our capitalized expenses, which get moved over to the balance sheet. The items that got moved over to the balance sheet were the plotter, the leasehold improvements for this location, and the balance of the website. So most of the website was in FY23, and then the balance was in FY24. So I'm going to go over some potential changes. So we've already gone through one major, so we got the audit in, I reviewed it in entirety, proposed a lot of edits, had some questions, and then we got that back. And so this is kind of what's left. These are the balance of the things that I would like to get clarity on. So if anybody has any questions while we're going through the audit, or even now, just interrupt me at any time. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. So Devin, if you want to skip to page 1. I'm going to go through this at the same time. Okay, so when you get your audit back, this is what everybody wants to see, right? In the auditor's opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly. So that's what you're looking for at that when you get your audit back. As I was telling the executive finance committee, it's always nice to get no findings. That's nice. This is what you want to see, that everything is presented fairly in all material respects. So Devin, if you want to skip to page 6. One more maybe? Yeah, right there. Okay, so there's 3 items on here. I don't know if I'm really it's more of a question. I want to make sure we're checking for consistency. I just want clarification from the auditor. So the number on the top, the 1.5 match was included last year, and it wasn't included this year in this year's audit. So again, this number may not change. We'll look for a response from the auditor, but just want to make sure that we're consistent and it's accurately reflected. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that same number, 1.5. Last year, the interest was included, and this year it's not. Interest is a budgeted expense. So again, just looking for clarity from the auditor. The $927,000 number, budgeted interest is included in this number. So again, if it's in this one, I just want to ask, should it be in the 1.5? So again, just looking for consistency and seeking clarification from the auditor. Page 7, 8, and 9. So this is why we're audited, right? So these are the final financial statements of the organization. Page 7, this is our balance sheet. If anybody has any questions, just let me know. Devin's going to scroll through this and slowly, just so everybody can get their questions. Or the next one will be the P&L, the profit and loss. That's what we review every month, comparing budget to actual. This is where you'll see the $14,700 net loss that I was referring to previously. And then the first number that I pointed out, the negative $90,534, which includes the Rutland Creek bath net loss. Those are the numbers that you're seeing in the P&L. And then on page 9 is the cash flow statement. Now, this is a statement that is completed by the auditor every year. But I didn't have any questions or potential changes on this cash flow statement. You'll see again the 14.7. Everything seems to align. Okay, so if you want to skip to page 15, there were just two small edits on page 15. So it's talking about the Rutland Creek Path project. Again, we're a fiscal agent. We hold the matching funds, and we're referring to the Creek Path project as an organization here. We're just recommending that we change organization to project. Page 22.
Oops.
Okay. So I don't anticipate anything changing on this page. I just like to present to the board the questions that I'll be asking tomorrow morning when I speak to the auditor. So this number, we need to, every year in the audit, we're showing like the next year's lease expenses. And this is reflecting 39,600, which is actually the lease at the former location, the lease expense for FY25 at the former location. And so I'm just confirming we don't want to include the lease expense at this location in FY25. And I believe that's accurate because as of 6/30/2024, that was our lease. We didn't have a signed lease agreement in place. So at that point in time, that was going to be our FY25 lease expense. So that's what that's what I expect her to tell me. I just want to confirm, highlight it and confirm that my understanding is correct.
Okay, we have one comment.
Okay.
I think the sentence about the project should say with which the commission is assisting. Is there another note that sort of reflects that in the talking about the
The Rutland Creek Path?
Yeah,
Um,
does that explain it
I-
somewhere else?
So it does talk about the Creek Path, and I want to say that it does say that we're the fiscal agent.
Okay, great. Thank you, Heather.
So I need to look for that quickly so I can. Let me just take a peek here.
She's just more grammatical than content. So
Okay.
yeah, that's
All right. We will. We'll put that comment. Okay. Yeah, so the current notes, funds held for others on June 30, 2024, the commission held 125, 193 in funds for the Rutland Creek Path project. So it does say a project organization that the commission is assisting. What was her recommendation? Can you go back?
with
In which? Okay,
with which the
Yeah.
commission is assisting.
okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure that I captured that. Thank you. Okay. So if we're looking at 22, yes, the 3960 or 39,600, just confirming that, at June 30, that is the number we want to reflect. Now below it's talking about incremental borrowing rate. If you scroll down just a little bit, this is actually a new note in FY24. This is more, I'm just going to be asking about this tomorrow morning just for more clarity for myself. Just a little education. Why we need to, I understand the note, it's just why we need to, confirming my understanding on why we need to include the non-cash interest expense on the financial statements. I don't expect this note to change at all. Okay. Page 26. Okay, so, again, just for clarity, and consistency, last year's schedule 3 included the actual revenues for interest income and miscellaneous income, and we didn't include it this year. So just double checking to make sure. I don't think it's gonna change. I think that's how, the auditor is going to want to reflect it. I'm just calling it out just to confirm. If for any reason she does, decide, she chooses to put in the actual revenues for those 2 lines, then of course it will change that net income down at the bottom just by those amounts. Okay, on page 27. So 27 and 28. So this schedule right here is actually something that I provide to the auditor. And this is our part of our indirect rate calculation. So every year we have to submit an indirect rate proposal to V-Trans. They have to approve our indirect rate. This is one of the schedules that we have to calculate. So what V-Trans is looking for and what we're doing is we need to calculate the actual audited indirect expenses. And this is what this schedule does. Now, I'm proposing that we move 1460 over to the direct expense line, but we may be able to move the unallowable expenses over to the total allowable indirect expenses. And that's something that I want to confirm with the auditor. If she agrees, we will also need to move the 5333 over to the direct expense. But again, I won't know until after I speak with her in the morning. If she agrees, I'll go ahead and update the schedule and forward it to her. On page 28, this is another part of our indirect rate calculation. And so what this is showing is it's showing what the actual audited indirect rate is for FY24. If numbers on the previous page changes, it just means this is what would be reflected on this schedule if those numbers change. And again, I will know tomorrow if she wants me to make those changes. Okay, so page 30, just a small proposed edit here. The schedule looks great. Just getting rid of 10%. We're leaving the match because that's still accurate. We're just getting rid of the 10%. Page 32. Is there a page 32 on this one?
Sorry.
Yes, okay. So when the draft was emailed to everybody, this letter was not included. So the auditor included this on the first draft, but it wasn't in the second draft. So I wanted you to see that at the end of the audit, this letter should be included. I don't expect to see any changes. It's just I wanted to show you that at the end of the audit, there should be this letter at the end.
Any questions for Mary Kay? Pretty straightforward stuff because MK's done such great work. Thank you so much, MK.
All right. Second time around for any questions? If not, this was presented to the executive committee, and the executive committee made a motion that passed to recommend to the full board approval for the FY24 audit report with changes presented and accepted by the auditor.
The auditor. Yeah.
By the auditor, sorry. So what we're asking for is a motion to approve the audit as Mary Kay presented it, knowing that there will be changes by the auditor.
Yes.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Hey, I have a second.
I'll second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye, raise your hand,
Aye.
nod your head. Okay, any opposed? Thank you. The ayes have it. Congratulations, Mary Kay. Executive Finance Committee report.
You just kind of delivered it.
I just delivered it.
Yeah.
So, next item on the agenda is to adjourn. Those of you that are online, you will be sorely missed because it is a very nice looking board.
I got it.
Nice spread.
It's too
Yes,
good.
You have to.
Take a walk, folks. Oh,
Oh,
that.
boy. Nice.
I'm gonna turn my mic off
Sorry.
just to say that,
Yeah.
you know, the
You only got
roads were
facts,
really
Michelle.
bad over here today.
Still have time to drive there.
So if I can have a motion to adjourn,
Before we adjourn, I'd like to echo, Devin's comments about the great job that Mary Kay did.
Yeah, I think that
I didn't expect anything.
Yes, here.
represents a tremendous amount of work and we really appreciate your dedication.
Thank you.
right? So a motion to adjourn,
So move.
Second.
then I have us adjourning at 27 minutes after 6 o'clock this evening.
Happy holidays all.
And also-
Merry
Merry
Christmas. Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
See you in the new
Happy
year.
New Year. See you soon.